West Indies great, Michael Holding. Mikey, great to see you. Just put into perspective for us just how important Sir Garry was to West Indies cricket.
Hi, Mike. Good to see you as well. When you talk about Sir Garry Sobers and then use the same word for me, I don't think that's quite appropriate, Mike. He was great. I was just another cricketer who came along behind him. But Sir Garry Sobers meant so much to the West Indies team, to West Indian people, to Barbados, and of course the game of cricket. He was a great. And when you know how great this man was when you talk to his opponents, people that he played against. And one person in particular that I spent quite a bit of time with was Ian Chappell, when after playing days doing commentary and that sort of a thing. And Chappell loved to talk about Sir Garry Sobers because apparently he pretty much mentored him when he played for South Australia in Adelaide. And Chappell said to me once, Mike, don't listen to people talking about Sir Garry Sobers as the greatest all-rounder ever. He was the greatest batsman, period. And when you hear somebody from Australia, as great a player as Ian Chappell, say something like that, when Sir Don Bradman is from Australia, you have to appreciate that he actually means what he says. And although I didn't play against him, I didn't play in his era. When I first saw him, I was just a little boy. I couldn't compare him to anything else. But when you talk to the greats who played with and against him, you know what an icon he was.
Absolutely, yeah. Mikey, I met him when I was 10 for the first time, and he was a legend then. You've touched on this. You played in a side that dominated cricket for 20 years. Could you have done that without players like Sir Garry building the bridge?
Well, you have to have trailblazers. You know, Sir Garry was one of the many trailblazers. You have to have something to build on, and you have to have something that you can look back on and say, okay, these people did this. Let me see if I can carry on the story. And notice I said carry on the story, not do better. Because as a team, we did better than the team that Sir Garry played with, but we certainly couldn't have done better than what he did. No member of the West Indies team could have done better than what he did. But just knowing the man off the field, because as I said, I didn't play with him, just knowing him off the field, you can see the type of person he was. The greatest. So many people have said that, but yet being around Sir Garry Sobers, he would never talk about himself. The other occasion he would laugh on because he was perhaps in the company of people like Wes Hall or Charlie Griffith or Big Bird, people from his island, and he might laugh about something in his time, but he never spoke about it and let people know what he thought of himself. He allowed others to talk about his greatness. And you look at that picture of him there with Brian Lara. Not many people would show that real, genuine love for somebody who had just broken his record. That was Sir Garry. He knew how great he was, but he never told anyone. He left others to talk about him.
Yeah, so let's do exactly that. Let's talk about him. Mikey, he could bat, he could bowl seam, he could bowl swing, he could bowl spin, he could field anywhere. Just explain to those who may not understand cricket so well how incredible that is.
Well, those who watch the game will know how difficult it is to do even one of those. You know, when you watch great batsmen out there, you know how hard they have worked. The greatest batsman I played with was Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richard. Very, very talented. And you knew how hard he worked to be as good as he was. When you watch bowlers, even the great Dennis Lilly, Andy Roberts, Malcolm Marshall, whoever around the world that were great bowlers, you know how hard they had to work to perform at the levels that they did. When you look at people in the field who were specialist fielders, not that's the only thing they did, but everyone knew how brilliant they were in the field. John T. Rhodes in South Africa, everybody knew how brilliant he was, but you also know how hard he worked. Now, when you think of that and you think of all those things combined, someone having to work hard to do all those things brilliantly, someone who could make the team doing any one of those disciplines. If he lost the rest, he would still make the team doing one of those disciplines. You know how great he was. And people will tell you, though, Mike, that Sir Garry didn't have to work hard at whatever he did because he was so talented. But I am absolutely sure, irrespective of how talented someone is, they still have to put in some work. I'm sure Gary put in his work.
Absolutely. So finally, Mikey, how will you remember him?
Well, will remember him as someone who just walked the earth and let people talk about his greatness. That's the best way to remember someone that was great. You don't want someone that was great to just keep on telling you how good he was, or people keep on laughing with him and they're thinking that he's better than other people. That was not Sir Garry. And that is what I will remember about Sir Garry, his greatness, but at the same time, how humble he was. He was always there, willing to smile, willing to talk, willing to have some fun. And I remember that about Sir Garry. The last time I saw him was actually on a Zoom call when one of the Caribbean prime ministers had a Zoom meeting to discuss West Indies cricket. When I saw him on the screen, I just started to smile to myself immediately, because that is the sort of reaction you get when you come across people like Sir Garry.
Mikey, what an absolute joy to talk to you tonight in such sad circumstances. But thank you so much for coming on.
I wish I could say it's a pleasure, Mike. It's a pleasure talking to you all the time, but not particularly on this subject.
Absolutely. Mikey, take care. Thank you so much.